Hey, everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, March 12th, 2023. Jack proposed to Diane, and she said yes. Cue the party cannon. Confetti everywhere, balloons, glitter, the whole 9 yards. Where did he go? In the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, to get a ring so fast? And was it the same place that he went to get the 5-star takeout dinner? The one that left Diane alone to have that wonderful dream turned nightmare, but the dream part I think was wonderful. Well, I say wonderful, but we did a poll last week and 66% of you don't care for the fantasy dream sequences. So I wonder if this was not as popular with everybody else as it was for me. But, you know, we also talked around the idea that a fantasy or a dream works a little bit better when the audience is in on it. And it was really clear that Diane's dream was a dream. So maybe most of you liked it. I mean, it literally could not have been more obvious that this was not in the reality of the story. It's Diane's wedding day. Jack is outside, just hoping to get a peek of her in her beautiful white gown, giving her a beautiful diamond necklace to go along with it. 1,000 doves in a cage outside somewhere getting ready to be released. 1,000 white doves? It was just an idea that she had. Oh, and one by one, everyone came in to sort of represent Diane's idea of what that ideal relationship would be with that person. Kyle was telling Diane that his mommy and daddy reuniting in wedded bliss is all he ever wanted since he was a little boy. Exactly what Diane would want to hear. And Summer telling Diane that she was the mother she wished she had. Oh, Diane must have loved that moment. Not only Summer accepting her, but the knowledge that she's better than Phyllis. Or the implication from Phyllis's own daughter that Diane is better than Phyllis. And Tracy, not only writing a book about Jack and Diane's love story, The Return of the Perfect Woman, but also then selling it to Hollywood to be made into a movie just based on a 3-line summary. Oh. And the real icing on top of the wedding cake was Ashley telling Diane that she loves her. We're sisters now. That was some over-the-top fun right there. I was actually in a bad mood the day that episode aired, and sitting down to watch those scenes completely turned my head around. It put really big smiles on my face. I was just in it. I was like, what is this? This is fun. I was having fun, and it reminded me that Y&R brings joy to my life. So thank you, Y&R, for that. The only piece of ridiculousness missing from Diane's dream would have been Phyllis becoming Diane's matron of honor. But that ain't gonna happen. Not even in Diane's wildest dream would she even want that. Instead, Phyllis is part of the nightmare. Diane woke up from her ideal dream, her ideal wedding dream, completely terrified because Jeremy Stark had found his way into the cabin. And maybe that's a justified fear because Phyllis went out of her way to find out where Jack and Diane are and told Jeremy their location. That Jeremy Stark, what a gentleman! What a good Samaritan! Last week when Phyllis was all drunk, she stumbled into the street in front of the hotel. Jeremy was following her, I guess, and he saved her life from being, I don't know, run over by a dump truck or something. So Phyllis now realizes that the man saved her life, and he wants a little something in return for it. He was implying that he was willing to blackmail Phyllis into helping him now that she owes him, right? But wrong. That she was not having it. She said, no, I'm not going to be blackmailed. That was not enough to turn her around on his constant asking to help with his plan. But apparently, Phyllis finding out that Jack and Diane were away on a vacation together, that was the last straw. Phyllis did not need any blackmailing to go along with Jeremy's plan as soon as she found out there was romance, a romantic vacation between Jack and Diane. But again, I think that the Jeremy Stark plan is that he just wants to make it look like Diane killed him. That's exactly the type of revenge that Jeremy would want. He would want to send her to prison. That's what she tried to do to him. He would see that as just desserts. So I think he is going to try to set it up so Diane thinks she killed him, and he thinks he's just going to scoot off away together, and Phyllis is going to help him fill in any of the holes in the plan. Maybe the plan will backfire and Jeremy actually does die. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe Phyllis is a major participant in the whole thing, or maybe she changes her mind. But either way, Phyllis tipping Jeremy off to Diane and Jack's location is not going to amount to much, because in the previews we see that Diane and Jack are back from their trip without any kind of incident. Yeah, no. The drama is not at this time going to be at the cabin. The drama here, I think, is sure to take place instead at the Masquerade Ball. That's right. We have a formal invitation to the Genoa City Bicentennial Masquerade Ball. This is going to be amazing. What are you going to go as? I haven't decided yet. I'll think on it. Maybe a cat. I'll figure it out. I'll go as a soap bubble. Oh, this is amazing. The Masquerade Ball, the classic, I think it was 1991 Masquerade Ball, was one of the all-time highlights of Y&R history. And I think this is a great idea to do another Masquerade Ball for the 50th anniversary celebration. Nikki announced it on Friday to Michael and Lauren, who was the only one of the three of them that was there, I think. She came in and she remembered all of the costumes and she reminded us of what everyone was wearing. I'm sure you're able to conjure them in your mind. As she was naming all the people, I'm sure you could just see the costume in your mind because it's become so classic. We all know that episode. I'm kind of wondering if Jill is going to go to the Masquerade Ball and maybe reprise her role as Cleopatra, walking in with a couple of beefcakes on either side of her being fanned. Or will there be a nod to that? Will she do a different kind of Cleopatra, or will she just mix it up and be something altogether? I don't know, but Jill walking in as Cleopatra, that is an image that is burned in my mind forever. That was such a jaw-drop moment, like, oh my gosh, wow, she knows how to make an entrance. And I remember Jack's Prince Charming. I remember Victor as the Roman Conqueror. Nikki was sitting there nodding her head to everything that Lauren said, saying, yes, I remember. But I don't think Nikki was at that Masquerade Ball. Am I wrong? I cannot think of what her costume was. I want to say that Melody Thomas Scott was on leave or something for that, or for some reason she wasn't in that episode. I can't wait. I mean, this is going to be so great. Nikki said that this Masquerade Ball is going to be more subdued. That's kind of a bummer. I hope not. But even if it is, it's of a different flavor, that's fine. I'm sure Y&R is going to give us some good costumes. At least I hope so. And hopefully they'll give us some good drama to go along with it. Because now, the original Masquerade Ball ended with David Kimball getting crushed to death inside of a trash compactor. I mean, that's one of the most gruesome images that I can imagine. When we saw that episode in flashbacks, during the COVID flashbacks, it was like, I can't believe how horrifying that is. So that was a memorable moment. Not just the Masquerade Ball, but then the plot drama, the villain getting crushed to death. I mean, that's a lot of drama for Y&R to live up to. Could that mean that this upcoming Masquerade Ball might end with a tragic twist too? Like, for instance, Jeremy Stark, I don't know, falling into the salad shooter and becoming an hors d'oeuvre. Thank you, Summer, for deciding to play Cupid with Adam and Sally. I really don't care why you're doing it, as long as you get the job done. Yeah, Sally decided that she might as well tell Summer that she's pregnant. Let Summer hear it from her rather than somewhere else. I don't know if Summer would have been more or less happy to find out that if the baby actually had been Nick's. Summer just saw the whole thing as, oh, well, this is yet another reason why my dad and Sally should not be together, so I'm gonna do something about it. There's plenty of reasons why Sally should just get back together with Adam. She's tied to Adam through a previous love. Possibly a current love. But she's tied to him together now through this very tangible thing, this baby. She's carrying his baby. And Summer theorized that maybe Sally is just using Nick as a way to shield herself from Adam. For whatever reason that may be. I thought that was a very apt observation. Yeah, Nick tried confronting Adam early in the week. Not threatening him. No, not a threat. But he tried confronting Adam, telling him to just give Sally some space. It seems like 2 or 3 times a week, Nick and Sally are together, and then Adam comes in, and it's just all awkward between the 3 of them. And Nick tried telling Adam to back off and give Sally her space. But then Adam's response seemed to throw Nick for a little bit of a loop. Adam told Nick that he had started to believe all of the bad things that people were saying about him. He was starting to think that maybe everybody was right about him, and so he just wants to be a better man now. He's not trying to cause any trouble. He just wants to be a better man, be a good father, and make it right. He's not here to cause trouble for Sally or for Nick. He's here to step it up. That seemed to really put a lump in Nick's throat. I mean, the better version of Adam might actually present some real competition for Nick. So I think that's kind of a good strategy for Adam. And it's kind of hard to be mad at somebody who's just trying to be better. Well, Sally went and told Nick that things with Summer did not go very well, and Summer went home to Kyle and was stewing with him. I kind of laughed because Summer comes steaming through the door, and Kyle says to her, "What's wrong?" And Summer says Sally freaking Spectra. I don't know, I just thought that was a funny moment and I liked it. And I also really liked Kyle's reaction to the whole thing. Could you believe that he dared to have a backbone about it? Could you believe he actually sort of stood up for Sally's position in a way? He pretty much said, Summer, this is not about you. She's having a baby. She's got a lot on her mind. And I sort of appreciated that attitude out of our little waffler, you know, that he took a stand on something and presented another side of the argument. And especially when it comes to something related to Adam. Like Adam and Kyle, they had a run-in this week. And I keep thinking, wow, this really could have been a fun rivalry. I think that those two guys are different enough that they really could make good foils for each other. They ran, you know, when they ran into each other at the coffee house, I thought they had some quippy exchanges. I think that Kyle always has these great facial reactions, and Adam has these really great lines. He actually was talking to Kyle about the sabotage at Chabot, and he said, "What did Victor offer you, Kyle? Some magic beans?" Where was all of that in the lead up to Adam leaving Chabot? Back to Summer. Nick paid Summer a visit and reminded her that although he loves her, he loves all of his children, that does not give her a vote on how he lives his life and who he dates. I really liked the moment when Nick said, "Are you just still stuck holding a grudge against Sally?" And Summer said, "A grudge? No, you're confusing me with Mom." I thought that was really telling and a very well-written line, and it, you know, incorporated all of where Summer's head is right now. I mean, I do think that Summer does still hold a grudge, but I mean, come on, from the outside, the whole my dad's girlfriend is pregnant with my uncle's baby. I mean, that is a real Jerry Springer situation right there. If I were in Summer's shoes, I would definitely be raising an eyebrow to that too. And Nikki did too. Oh, the look on Nikki's face when Summer told her that Sally is pregnant. It was like Nikki just ate a sour grape. Her lips all puckered up like, Sally's pregnant? But then when Summer told Nikki that the baby's not Nick's, Nikki literally threw her hands up in hallelujah. That was a good fun moment. I hope that Victor is not going to hold it against Nikki, that Summer asked Nikki to keep the whole thing, the pregnancy thing, a secret from him, because for all of the secrets that Victor has kept from Nikki, I think this one's pretty minor. I think it should be okay. Summer said, you know, I just needed someone to confide in about all of us, and of course she kind of needed someone to conspire with too, lightly, a little bit of light conspiracy going on there, because in Summer's mind, she thinks, well, if I can reunite Sally and Adam, then my dad's problem goes away. What she sees as her dad's problem would just go away. It seems like toward the end of the week, Nick and Adam are working together to make it not a problem, even though it's clearly gonna be. They're both hovering on Sally so hard at this point that it's pushed her away. She just throws up her hands like, oh, what a hassle. Hot rich brother number 1 wants to let me borrow the private jet, and then hot rich brother number 2 wants to build me a house and let me decorate it to the nines. What a problem to have. Honestly, I would say, okay. Okay, to all of the above, boys. Now, who's gonna bring me some ice cream? The battle to buy McCall Untld is on. Victor wants to buy it for Adam. Adam wants it for Adam. And Victoria wants it for herself. Victor tried laying down the law with Victoria this week, telling her that this is what's gonna happen. Newman's gonna buy it. Adam's gonna run it. And it's gonna be a separate entity. But Victoria was not having it. She wants all the control. And she told Nate, oh, don't worry. Trust me. I always get what I want. Oh, you might not know me enough to know that I always get what I want. Ooh! I loved the scene where Victoria went over to Devon's penthouse to sniff out his interest in McCall. He was so delightfully rude to her. I shouldn't feel that way, but for some reason I kind of liked how rude he was to her, because she's so cocky, and he shut her down. Nobody shuts Victoria down like that, and so there was something in me that just liked it. He almost slammed the door in her face, telling her to make an appointment with his assistant. I mean, Victoria is arguably the most powerful woman in Genoa City, maybe the most powerful person, period. And Devon told her to make an appointment with his assistant. Devon might be the only one with a bigger ego. Oh. But he said, what did you expect, Victoria? And she said, well, a friendlier greeting. And then he said, we're not friends. I liked that. I kind of want to see them going head to head in the future. It worked for me. Victoria was trying to undermine Devon's trust in Tucker, which really shouldn't be that hard. She told Devon that Tucker had tried to sell the company to her first, and that really didn't make too much of a difference to Devon. He's already coming around to the realization that he just might need to buy Tucker's company in case he loses the lawsuit against Chancellor Winters and can't get Hamilton Winters back. So even if he loses the lawsuit against Lily, at least with Tucker's company, he'll have something to do. And it seems like he's willing to work with Tucker in a reduced role to do that. And that's exactly what Tucker wants at the end of the day. That's what Tucker wants, and it's what Tucker wants even more, because that's what Ashley wants. Ashley and Tucker are hot. I was not sold on them immediately, but I have really come around to looking forward to their scenes. It evolved slowly for me, because at first I was like, I don't know. And then it moved into, okay, this is fine. And now I'm actually anxious to see them together. I love the push and the pull between them. She pushes, he pulls. I mean, did you see the way that she was tugging on his shirt collar after they kissed? I mean, it was like a kiss, and then she's grabbing him by the shirt collar. I mean, I think that Ashley thinks that she's the one who's in control, but he knows that that is not the case. She wants him as much as he wants her, and that just makes for a really compelling dynamic. I mean, the sparks, the chemistry, it's all there. I also like how Ashley and Abby are both working separately to try to unite Tucker and Devon. Did you see Abby's amazing blazer this week? It was like splashy and springy and beachy all together. It was a dream. Every week Abby has been looking so good right now. Last week was the all white blazer and pantsuit. This week was this splash of beautiful color on a winter day. She just looked so good. I mean, both Abby and Ashley are killing it right now, giving me mother-daughter spectacular ladies of the small screen every single day. This was a week of guys kind of standing up to their ladies. Kyle kind of stood up to Summer on the topic of Sally, and Daniel stood up to Lily a little bit on the topic of Devon. I like that Daniel is becoming not afraid to tell Lily the things that she doesn't necessarily want to hear. And, you know, Abby does that for Devon too, which it creates a really nice balance. But specifically, Daniel dared to tell Lily that he thought that hiring Amanda to represent Chancellor Winters, hiring Devon's ex in the lawsuit was harsh, and that Devon was handling it pretty well. I don't know how Daniel would know how Devon's handling anything. I think maybe Daniel was just projecting because his ex is a lawyer and Devon's ex is a lawyer. But I also think that Daniel has a vested interest in keeping the peace. It's what's good for him. It's what's good for his Omega Sphere project. And it's also what's good for his friend, his so-called friend, his future romance, his past and future romance with Lily. So Nate approached Daniel this week to see if they could work together to bring the Winters family together. It's funny because this week I started thinking about how I always call them the Winters family. I feel like maybe that's how we all categorize the, Lily and Devon, they're Winters. But, and Nate kind of gets put into that. But Nathan Hastings Sr. was on The Young and the Restless nearly a decade before Neil Winters ever was. And Nate's dad never gets mentioned. I mean, he was a pretty pivotal role, too, before they recast him and then made him weird and then killed him off. But I think, we think of Drew and Neil being considered the godparents of, Lily, the family. They're the originals that, gave us the Lily and Devon that we get today. But I kind of hope that maybe someday Nate can start thinking about the Hastings family legacy too. He gets folded into Lily and Devon's family, and they are family, but what about Nathan Sr. and Olivia? I don't know. I just thought that might be interesting. Of course, neither of them were involved in the corporate world, and Nate left the medical field. Is there any chance Olivia's going to come back for the 50th? No, she doesn't seem to want to be involved. But anyway, back to Nate and Daniel. It was almost too much hotness to take in a single scene. I didn't even know where to look when both of those guys were sitting across from each other. My eyes hurt by the end of that scene. They were saying blah, 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 blah family, and all I could think about was which one I liked more. Which one is hotter? I mean, it was like, oh my God, Nate's hot. Oh my God, Daniel's hot. Oh my God, Nate is hot. Oh my God, Daniel's hot. I mean, I didn't know what to do with myself. It was a tough call. I guess the only answer is both. I'll take both. But not at the same time, because I could not. It was too much. Don't do that again, Y&R. It almost broke my brain. And ultimately, it didn't go anywhere. Daniel thought maybe it would be better to not partner with the family pariah. But he did tell Lily about it, and he, again, had the nerve to say, okay, Lily, Nate did a bad thing. Does his crime deserve a life sentence? I thought that was a really effective way to put it to someone who was sentenced to prison for a crime that affected her family. Billy and Kyle had a good talk this week. Kyle admitted that he's afraid that Diane will ultimately hurt Jack. And, he loves his mother, but it's complicated. And Billy told Kyle that Jack had offered him the co-CEO position, and Kyle didn't seem to mind that. So no conflict there when Billy accepts Jack's job offer probably next week. Surprisingly, the conflict came with Ashley, between Billy and Ashley, because Billy started out on a rant about how Tucker McCall is no good. He says he's changed, but you can't trust him. And I was impressed with how readily Ashley called Billy out, saying, and how many times have you claimed that you've changed and we've all accepted it? It's the name of the game in this town. I've changed. I'm not that person anymore. But it was a good scene. Ashley also called Billy out for his double standard when it comes to her relationship and Jack's relationship. Why does Billy support Diane's reformation and reunion with Jack, but Billy does not support Tucker's reformation and Tucker's reunion with Ashley. Ashley actually called him a chauvinist. Ouch. I mean, that had to hurt. Maybe Diane does get a pass with him because she's a woman. I don't know. It was an interesting conversation to have. And luckily the conversation ended on a more positive note. Billy opened up about his relationship with Chelsea and, and hinted to Ashley that he's going to come to work at the family company as Jack's co-CEO. Once again, putting each and every Abbott child under the Jabot roof except Tracy. Except Tracy. She's the smartest one of the bunch, which is why she's not there. But there's a part of me that's like, gosh, can't we even find a pretend reason, a pretend reason for reality, for our non-reality? Can't we find something for Tracy to do at the Jabot family company? I think that, if Tracy had something to do there, I just might be able to go to my grave completely satisfied. Sharon was borderline bossy this week. Sharon just has so much wisdom to share that she just has to dispense it at all times. She got up into Adam's professional life this week, which is also his personal life, to be fair. I mean, considering his career usually revolves around his dad and his family. Those made for some good scenes between Sharon and Adam, but Sharon also did not seem to mind stepping out on a limb and giving Billy, somebody she's sort of friendly with, but, she was married to Adam. There's a presumed intimacy there, but she really gave some unsolicited advice to Billy. She saw Billy taking up a box of pastries and flowers to Chelsea's apartment, and Sharon warned him that even though Chelsea has made a lot of progress, she may still be in a fragile space. Sharon did help to get Chelsea into aftercare, so she played a part in saving Chelsea's life too. I guess maybe she gets to weigh in on that? I don't know. She gave Billy something to think about, though. A pause before launching full into their romance. Billy did find a roundabout way to ask Chelsea if she's feeling stable on her own, as in, can she be stable without him? You need to know that before you can go into the relationship. And she said yes, of course. Of course she's going to say yes, and then, onto the flowers. Onto the romance. Yes, I want the romance. I'm sure I could do without it, but yes, I want the romance and the flowers. How dare he bring her lilies? That is rude. Did you see that? Billy cannot bring lilies to another woman this soon. No, there has got to be maybe a 1-year buffer before he's allowed to purchase the flower that bears his ex's name and then give it to another woman. He's in, she's in. Meh. Billy had another follow-up with Sharon and reassured her that he's proceeding with caution. And then Chloe stopped by the apartment to get the scoop on all of this. Found Chelsea and Billy together and immediately knew what was going on there. Chloe seemed unusually, cautiously optimistic for her friend. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how long will it be before Chloe starts to find a reason to nag Chelsea to stay away from him? We're all more alike than we are different. That is the truth, Nate. Well put, Nate. That was our Who Said It quote from last week. He was talking to Audra he was spitballing his mashup ideas, and he said, well, we're all more alike than we are different. I really thought fewer people would get that, but I have to give big congrats to Henry and Ron and Nina D, Daisy, Nancy, Juanita, Stu W, good old Marky, Tina B, and Diana. I feel like this one's going to be harder, though. Let me know if you know who said this. Laughter means that you're moving on. Laughter means that you're moving on. Who said that this week? If you know, go to yrchat.com. You can leave your guess right there, and if you get it right, you'll find out during next week's Y&R Chat. Oh, on to your great ideas, starting with Gary, who says, a masked ball. Well, that's just right for mistaken identities and murder. Woo! Tina B says, or for mistaken identity trysts. Can Sally possibly mistake Adam for Nick? Haha. Not likely, but a girl can lie. I didn't even think of that. I mean, the Masquerade Ball, I didn't even think about the whole, like, masked identities thing. I mean, I think on Bold and the Beautiful they did something like that. There was a masked ball, and then isn't that when Brooke slept with Bridget's husband or something, and then she had his baby or something. No, maybe not the baby, but something, you know, like, oh, you're masked. I thought you were so-and-so. Or I'm gonna pretend I thought you were so-and-so. I love that idea. And murder, right? Because in the original Masquerade Ball, David Kimball was dressed as a wolf and he was lurking the whole time. And I think his costume was the same as Danny's. So the plan, I believe, was to pretend to be in the same costume as Danny's and then try to kidnap Christine or murder her or something. So yes, mistaken identities and murder, Gary. That's exactly right. Well, Y&R viewer 123 says, in 50th anniversary news, there are rumors that Miguel is coming back to the show and that Nikki's gala will use the original GCAC set. This means the whole 50th week will be about the Genoa City Bicentennial Gala. Ah! Okay, first of all, not gonna lie, I'm gonna scream like a fangirl when I see Miguel. I mean, okay, Mamie is going to be a big one for me. Miguel is my man. I mean, going back and watching the classics too, I'm like, God, Miguel was really attractive too. And I never thought of him that way probably because I was, younger. But he's frozen in time in those classics, and I've gotten older to his age, and now I'm like, I would date Miguel. He's solid. Miguel he was a good guy. Who did he date? Esther? That would have been the ultimate thing that they could have done. Made Miguel and Esther have gotten married and gone off screen. But Miguel just disappeared. He just quietly retired. I mean, I don't blame him, but I miss him, and I would be so happy to see him and the GCAC set. How about that? The revolving door. Tina B says, yes, but can Jill get through a revolving door with 2 palm-yielding studs? That is the question. The revolving door is fantastic. I mean, that's the most identifiable piece of that set. I mean, I don't think anywhere else on Daytime that I can think of I've seen a revolving door like that. And people don't really even install revolving doors like that anymore. But it's that was such a beautiful set piece. So iconic to the GCAC set. And that would be nice. I mean, they've mentioned it a couple of times. I would like to see it. The rest of the restaurant doesn't do much for me. It's very brown. It's just brown. But that revolving door, that's the piece. That's a way to make an entrance, but not with palm fronds. Or ostrich feathers. I nearly lost it when Nikki announced the Masquerade Ball. What a moment. Oh, and speaking of Nikki, Ellen says, no one is more charming than Nick Newman, according to his mommy. Is that this week's poll question? Yes, that did not occur to me until you said it, but then I thought, oh my God, that's hilarious. That Nikki says yes to Summer's plan to reunite Sally and Adam, but let us not forget, says Mommy, no one is more charming than my son when it comes to getting a woman that he's infatuated with. Yeah, that is pretty funny. It is such a mom thing to say. No one's better than my son. Great funny comment. Well, Sue W says, it seems most chatters want Sally back with Adam. I get it. No hard to connect dots there. What I don't get is the hate for Nick and thinking that it's him stopping that from happening. Nick has been deemed not right or not good enough for Sally in multiple viewer reasonings. He's too old, doesn't love her, he knows she loves Adam, he knows Adam loves her, she's his ex's brother's ex, the baby's Adam's, etc., etc. Where, though, is the hate for Sally along those very same lines? Sally has not just chosen to be with Nick, but encourages him, shield or not. Sally knows Nick's age, that she loves Adam, that Adam loves her, that Nick and Adam are brothers, and that the baby is Adam's, etc. Sally's the reason that she's not with Adam. She is flipping off all those reasons equally as well as Nick. I love that point. That's true. That is true. Again, and I've said that. This is Sally's choice. She's the one that's made the choice. Whether she loves Adam or not, all of the various factors that you've mentioned, she's made her choice. Ellen says, I am plenty ticked off at Sally. I've written many comments about it. It makes no sense that she wouldn't forgive Adam after his many very sincere apologies. Her fantasy episode showed us she believes Adam truly loves her and Nick doesn't. And yes, it's beyond gross and a betrayal to pursue a woman your brother loves. I have 6 brothers. I have declared myself a world-renowned expert on brothers. Punches would be thrown in my family. Yeah, I know, yeah. I mean, okay, well, so, I mean, like, look, you can't help who you're attracted to. And if you indulge it, I'm sure that attraction can develop into what you think is love. But then acting on it is, yeah, I mean, but I don't know. It's a sticky wicket, which is what makes for a good story. Gary says, I'm one of those you speak of, refusing to go positive on Nick, who stole Adam's girl. What an albatross around Sally's neck, but she's too stubborn to admit it. Nick is a tried and true plow horse, where Sally needs the rebel. Oh, yeah, Sally needs the rebel. I mean, it's so obvious. Everybody knows Adam and Sally. I mean, the writers know it. We're just along for the journey of it. I don't dislike either brother. And you know, it's like the brother thing, the sister thing, dating thing, it's all in the family in soaps. It's due to, you know, limited ability to develop new characters. We have a certain amount of characters that we have to use and reuse and use and reuse. So in a way, it's kind of like, yeah, in reality, yuck. In soaps, it's just sort of second nature in a way. The brother triangle is so done so many times. Well, Victoria says, you do make a good point that Sally is causing friction between the brothers. She is choosing not to forgive Adam for his callous dumping of her, and it's only soap logic to have Sally dig in her heels and refuse to accept his sincere apologies. To compound matters, Sally discounted Adam's reasons for helping her stay at Newman. I don't fault Nick for stepping up and flirting with the gorgeous girl his brother left brokenhearted. I do fault Nick for not taking Adam's advice to give Sally some breathing room to sort out her feelings. Instead, Nick doubled down. Nick's handsome, charming, and a caring guy in which many younger women would be attracted to. The age difference is no biggie for me. In the end, I want Sally to be with Adam and for Nick to realize that there is no one he connects to more than Sharon. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. Nick and Sally and Adam are, you know, they're the couple. Nick and Sharon can get back together. How about that? T. Nicole says, is the Sharon and Chance love affair put on hold, or has it been scrapped altogether? Good question. Sharad says she doesn't think it's been scrapped. According to Sharon Case's recent interview with Alan Locker, we will see her in more scenes with Chance's character in the coming weeks. You know, this is a little bit of a failing on the Sharon character. Maybe they were just taking some time to screen test that romance to see how the viewers reacted to it before they went full steam ahead on it, and maybe we're getting ready to see those scenes soon. But it does feel like a gap. We built up some of that chemistry between Sharon and Chance, and now so much time's gone by, I've forgotten about it. I'm going to need them to build it back up again in order to get me back on board with it. I remember liking it the last that I saw, but I'm going to, you build up that tension, and if you don't pop the bubble or don't pursue it, then it just sort of fizzles away. Naomi says, I miss the old Sharon. This version of Sharon is a butt-in-ski. She seems to enjoy hanging around the coffee shop to keep tabs on everyone else. it's another sticky widget because I do like Sharon at the coffee house. I like her chatting with people. She's a great hostess. She is warm and friendly, and I like her advice. I think we need to turn it down a couple notches and give Sharon a secondary storyline. She can still give advice. She's great at it. She's been around. She's sage wisdom here. But she needs a burning passion. She needs a love. She needs something else to do, too. T. Nicole says it will probably be another week or two before Mariah comes into the coffee house to update Sharon on the baby name. Yes, that's right. No Mariah and Tessa updates this week. Calling out the search party. Let's go find Mariah and Tessa. Where are they? I'm sure they're nesting. So I guess we'll try to keep the Mariah and Tessa positivity here by going over our baby names that we came up with for them. Victoria says, I'm going to place my vote for naming Mariah and Tessa's baby Cass, thus paying homage to Mariah's twin, hoping that the baby's essence is kindness. Yeah, Cass. You know what? That's a really good name. That would pay homage to Mariah. But what about Tessa? Henry says, my suggestion is Harmony. This may be a little bit cheesy, but I base my suggestion on Tessa's music, and of course her relationship with Mariah puts the two of them into perfect harmony. I told you, cheesy. No, I like that. And yes, Harmony is Devon's mother's name. I mean, her name was Yolanda, but then she changed it to give herself the name Harmony. But Harmony would be a really good name for Mariah and Tessa's baby. It's both musical but relevant to their relationship. But here's my vote. Tina B says, what about Melody? Yeah, that's another musical name, but it could also, for no reason, pay homage to Melody Thomas Scott. No reason, just 'cause. Melody feels like it would fit, right? Because the viewers would all go, okay, we know. Well, last week I asked you guys if you think that we are going to see the inside of a courtroom in 2023. 66% of you very optimistic that we're going to see the inside of a courtroom, either maybe with Amanda and Devon or maybe with Mariah and Tessa. 34% of you voting no, not likely. Mary Ann V voted yes because Amanda's coming back to town for the trial and Christine is involved. Why would Y&R bring these characters back only to have off-screen scenes? The fans are tired of it, and it would be a good storyline involving Lily, Jill, and Devon. It would be nice to see some good courtroom drama. It's been a while. And Sherrod says, I voted yes, too, for the courtroom scene because of Amanda's return. Also, Allie, I believe the last time we had a real courtroom scene set was back in 2019 when the women were on trial for killing JT. With that said, I still don't know how in the world that jury convicted them without a body. Another story that had me shaking my head. I enjoy real drama as much as the next person, but have it make sense. Oh, barf. I forgot about that. Yeah. I mean, it just wasn't, it didn't have the stuff. That trial just did not have the stuff. I don't know. I like the idea of the courtroom for Lily and Devon with seeing Amanda, seeing Christine. I mean, I hope that's the direction it goes in. But Tony says not likely that we're going to get an actual courtroom. They'll just sit around the Grand Phoenix or the coffee shop with folders open and discuss it with the droppers by. Oh, I hate to say it, but you're right, Tony. You're right. I mean, I think I would like to see a courtroom scene, a brief, well done, succinct courtroom scene, but the fact of the matter is it probably isn't going to happen. They're going to go to the coffee house with open folders and Devon's going to settle. They're both going to settle. Henry voted no, not likely that we'll see a courtroom scene. The actor that portrayed John Silva as an attorney did a superb job in the courtroom scenes at the time, many years ago. I can't recall what the scenario entailed at the time, but he was great. And I don't see Michael, Christine, or Amanda work in a courtroom like Silva did. I would like to see Phyllis brought to court and found guilty of anything. anything. A courtroom scene regarding the corporate world would be a sleeper. Yeah, you know, but I also think a Diane murder trial with Jeremy Stark is probably would be the more dramatic courtroom, and then like maybe in the end somebody finds out that he's still alive. I mean, I think that would be maybe predictable, but you could build up some really good drama, get some good scenes. Jack could have a tearful like, don't send my bride to be away. I mean, there's a lot of juice that could happen with that kind of a courtroom scene. And yes, I love that you took it to John Silva. That's right, he's another one where watching it as an adult in the flashbacks, I'm like, John Silva was good looking. Is John Silva gonna come back for the episode? He was in a lot. I mean, he was a minor character, but he was always there. He always came in for the legal drama, and you're right, he was good at it. Oh, Naomi mentions that Lily said it's corporate law, and it'll take years to settle this case. So that is probably a red flag, Naomi, that, you know, Lily said it'll take years to get it settled out. So it's not going to be one day of big courtroom drama. Yeah, that's probably a good point. That if we get the courtroom scene, it's not going to be Lily and Devon. It would be more likely like a murder trial. And Tina B says, yeah, I think Devon's going to let it go and buy Tucker's company. Next week's previews show Adam telling Tucker that he may be the CEO of Tucker's company, and Tucker said, over my dead body. Why would Adam discuss Newman's plans with Tucker? Devon's going to buy it to keep it out of the hands of the Newmans. It won't go to court. I mean, I think feasibly Devon could probably do both. He could probably sue and buy Tucker's company, but I loved that preview scene because it was so... the guy... Trevor St. John's doing well. I was not sold on him right away. But that preview scene where Adam says, hey, I may be the one running your company, and Tucker just sort of swirled around, grabbed his drink, and just leaned in and said, over my dead body. I mean, he's got a sense of humor about his delivery that has totally won me over. Yeah. Well, Ellen says it was interesting that Tucker said he looked at the details of the case between Devon and Chancellor Winters, and he didn't think Devon had a leg to stand on. Let it be. Yes, let it be. I mean, that's kind of how I feel, too. I feel Devon would lose the court case, and it sounds like he's realizing that there's at least a possibility. Some of the bluster has started to come out of Devon, and he is starting to realize that, oh, he's not going to win just because he's Devon Hamilton. There's a real possibility that he could lose, and he could need a plan B. Ron says, if I were a character on the show, I'd go out of my way to trip Devon. He's such a brat. That'd be funny. Going out of your way to trip him. Oh, that makes me feel bad. No, I can't see anybody fall. But funny. Well, let's talk about Diane's Dream. Y&R Viewer 123 says, I love the episode with Diane's Dream. It was funny, it was light, and I saw Eileen Davidson's Days of Our Lives acting come out in the beginning. The music stood out from the usual Y&R background music that we hear, and the scenes also made me appreciate the set more. Yeah, I thought the dream was great. It's interesting that you said that about the Days of Our Lives version. I forgot, I didn't make that connection, but you're totally right. She plays two totally different characters on two totally different soaps, and the fact that that was a heightened dream, heightened situation of fakeity, where we all know it's not reality. The viewer's in on the fact that this isn't reality. We're not trying to fool ourselves. The farce is accepted, and it did show a little bit more of her Days of Our Lives skill there. Well, Daisy says, I liked Diane's dream sequence. It was hilarious seeing Jack's sister fawn all over her. And who knows, it might come true if, in going after Diane, Stark accidentally nearly kills Jack, and Diane saves him. Tracy and Ashley might be so grateful to her that they forgive Diane and welcome her into the family. Maybe not, but it would be a good twist. Yeah, Daisy, I like the idea that maybe whatever Diane does to get rid of, to cause harm to Jeremy Stark, thinks she's going to cause harm to Jeremy Stark, whatever, that she's doing it in the process of trying to save Jack. Wow, I have to ask you guys, knowing that all of the stage is set, someone gonna die. There's going to be some sort of drama with Jeremy Stark. I think they brought him back to die. I don't think it's going to be Diane, despite the fact that the word die is in her name. I hope that's not the case anyway. My question for you for this week's poll question is I'd like you to predict, will Diane and Jack be married? Do you see it happening? Go to yrchat.com. Not do you want them to get married? Do you think it'll actually happen? Maybe there'll be a little bump in the road in between, but I think they will eventually tie the knot. Oh! How about this news? Y&R Viewer 123 reports. It looks like we're getting the first Y&R primetime special in almost 30 years. Yes! I immediately went to look this up. There's going to be a very special Entertainment Tonight episode for the Young and the Restless 50th anniversary celebration from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern on both CBS and streaming live and on demand on Paramount Plus. So 8 o'clock Eastern Time on CBS or streaming live if you have Paramount Plus. The special, per the press release, promises to dive deep into the legacy of Y&R storylines over the years. Hosted by Entertainment Tonight co-host Nichelle Turner, they're going to get into the romances, rivalries, weddings, and the soap's effect on popular culture, and even some of the show's most famous alumni. There will be interviews with the cast, never-before-seen moments from Entertainment Tonight's vault, and a behind-the-scenes tour of the studio. Oh! Okay, first of all, I'm just going to say, when I heard primetime episode, I thought it was going to be episode of story. It is not that. Okay, I have very fond memories of the primetime episodes that were episodes. This is a special, and that is good too. So I am very happy to be receiving this. There is a trailer or a preview or something. If you look it up about the Y&R Entertainment Tonight primetime special, there is a trailer. Watch the trailer. Prepare to cry. It was really moving to me. At the very end of it, Laura Lee Bell says, you know, somebody gave an hour of their day for 50 years to watch Y&R, and that is a huge thank you to us. And the way she said it, and it was the end of the trailer, and like I just swelled into, oh my God, that's so true. These are our lives. These are the days of our lives. We're giving an hour of our day for some people for 50 years. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I love that she had the grace, I guess, to call it a gift to them, but it's Y&R's gift to us. That's how I feel about it. I mean, I'm not gifting them by watching it. I feel like they're gifting me by giving it to me. So I cried at this trailer. It is a 1-minute trailer, and I got tears. So look that up. Also, there's going to be a tour of the prop room, which you know is the thing I want. The set tours. I think they're going to do some set stuff, but I want in that prop room. I want to see the costumes. I want to see the prop. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. We're going to have to wait a little bit, though. The anniversary celebrations are going to start on March 22nd. So we've got 10 more days to go until anniversary week starts. So again, the Entertainment Tonight episode, did I not have the date of that? Okay, I got it. Pause. Must know the date of this. I'm sorry. March 27th. Okay, March 27th at 8 p.m. is the prime time special on Entertainment Tonight. The anniversary week, though, where we're probably going to have this bicentennial gala, possibly at the GCAC, possibly with a revolving door, that's going to start on March 22nd. So 10 days from now, we're going to start the celebration. Then probably at the end of that week, we're going to get the Entertainment Tonight schedule. But all of this is going to have to happen after March Madness. Now this is a real Tom Petty moment. The waiting is the hardest part. We are only going to get 3 episodes next week, you guys. Y&R is going to be preempted for March Madness on Thursday the 16th and Friday the 17th. So we're going to get our 3 episodes. We're going to enjoy them. We're going to have a chat. But we're going to be holding our breath because when we come back, the celebration begins. This is a lot. It's a lot. It's hard to keep it all together. It's like watching the Nate and Daniel scene. I'm like, oh, my head's gonna explode. It's too much to handle. It's too much amazing, good stuff to handle. But I'm so grateful. I feel really good about this. So we just gotta get through next week. Whatever. Put your whole life on autopilot for next week. And everybody just look forward to the week after that. I hope that you guys are as excited about this as I am, or at least a fraction of the amount. If you are or if you aren't, go to yrchat.com to leave your comments, and don't fret. You're going to be feeling lonely on Thursday and Friday of this upcoming week, but come back next Sunday and we will talk about the 3 episodes that we do have. I love chatting with you guys about Y&R. I love you, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.